morning, listeners and viewers of the Real Stuff podcast. Today is another Poetry Corner. This is a very special Poetry Corner. We have had one episode before, the brainchild of Courtney. We are doing a critique of a poem. And today's poem is Mario Angelou, Phenomenal Woman. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask Courtney to take it over. And I would like for us to start, after we introduce ourselves, is to have somebody read that poem first, and then we start the critique. I am Flavius, and I'm your host. So I pass back over to one of my co-hosts, Courtney.
Yes, good afternoon.
Take it away, Courtney.
To our listeners and viewers of the Real Stuff podcast. Today, as Flavius has mentioned, we have a critique of a poem, a Maya Angelou's poem, Phenomenal Woman. And with us is Maxwanette, our co-host, Cezanne, a poetess, Dr. Anita Caprice, and Frank Gilkes. So Maxwanette, take it over, and we'll ask Cezanne to recite a poem for us after Maxwanette speaks. Okay, go ahead, Maxwanette.
Good afternoon and grand rising, everyone. It's beautiful to see all these wonderful faces in all these various places. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So again, as to reiterate on what my co-host just said, we're going to be doing Maya Angelou's poem, and we're going to be critiquing it. And I'm going to turn it over to Cezanne Poetess, coming to us live in the UK in this beautiful park. Cezanne.
Good evening, good day, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. And thank you for inviting me to perform or recite this poem, Phenomenal Woman. It's one of my favorite poems, this one and Still I Rise. And I've been meaning to memorize them so I could perform them properly, and this has kind of sparked me to
Beautiful.
learn them. Oops.
Take your time.
Sorry, I dropped my phone.
It's all right.
I dropped my phone. I left my tripod at home. Sorry about that.
I want you to introduce yourself first, and then I'm going to have everybody else on the panel introduce themselves, and then I'm going to get back to you so that you can recite. So you're good.
Okay, my name is Cezanne Poetess. I'm a visual and spoken word artist from the UK of Jamaican parentage. I'm also author of the self-help novel Journey of a Sister, which features my artwork and poetry. So I also am launching the Soul Purpose Tribe. Just came from the studio recording some new tracks for the Soul Purpose Tribe.
Okay.
And helping people to discover and to fulfill their soul purpose.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Brother Frank?
I am Frank Gilkes, poet and film actor from Barbados, living in Barbados, beautiful, beautiful Barbados. Welcome to come down. Also, I have just published with my brother a collection of our poems, Sea, Water, and Sand. Previous to that, we did a collection with another group of poets from Barbados, from Rampas to Tenerife. And I also had published a book in Trinidad some years ago, Images of a Caribbean Dream, with Trinidadian poet Corey Joseph. I am also an event planner in Barbados. I also plan events in Barbados. We're currently planning an event called the Spikestown Global Freedom Festival, which I'm sure you will hear more about as time go on. Okay. And hopefully one of these days, next year or the year after, some of you can come down and be part of the Spikestown Global Freedom Festival. It's a festival celebrating the freedom of African people. Beautiful. And it's centered around the first uprising, the first planned rebellion in Barbados by enslaved Africans and where they were attempting to put enslaved African by the name of Kafi as king of Barbados. So you see, Barbados was striving for its own monarchy way back in 1675. And now finally we are a republic. Finally, we don't have the Queen of England as our head of state any longer. But we were trying to do it back then with King Kafi, who was a Ghanaian. And we are finally recognizing King Kafi in Barbados through this festival, the Spikestown Global Freedom Festival. So that's the annual festival that go on every year, and we will be publicizing it more throughout the whole diaspora as time go on.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Sister
wonderful.
Anita, Dr. Anita Caprice there, unmute your mic for me and let us know who you are.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Anita Caprice. I'm a mom of beautiful twin daughters, mom-in-law to beautiful sons-in-law, and grandma to beautiful precious 5. I'm I'm a doctor of metaphysical science. I'm an international spoken word poet, author of Reflections of an Angel, Poetic Affirmations, Tap Into You with Poetic Peace, author of You, Your Own Universe, an introduction regarding chakras and energies and all that good stuff. And my family and I, we are raising funds to build a school in Burkina Faso, West Africa. And we just completed our anthology. It's a global anthology of 14 inspired women. That's a fundraiser for the school. The book is called The Divine Feminine, My Relationship with God. I'm the founder of the Tap Into You movement, also founder of Empowerment Through Spoken Word Poetry. It's a foundation, a global foundation. And right now we're having a global every second Monday, a global peace. We think on peace. So we're doing that. I'm also global chair, blessed to be a global chair to all G100 Oneness and Wisdom. That's a global group. So yeah, I'm just happy to be here, and I'm 65 years of age and loving my journey and loving my space. And it's just, I'm an easy peasy, nice and breezy kind of gal. And that's what you see is what you get.
Wow, wow. Wow, what a panel. I love it, I love it. Courtney, okay, you're unmuted, beautiful. Okay, there's Brother Senghor, beautiful, right on time. And
Just wait on him to
we can
do
get him
his
to
stuff.
get in here, yes,
Yeah.
and have him, introduce himself as well, and then we can get right on into it. He's connecting. He'll be here. Oh, beautiful. Grand Rising, good afternoon. Brother Senghor, could you unmute your mic for us, please?
Good afternoon.
There you are.
Yes.
Afternoon. Yes.
Good afternoon.
All right.
We can't see you.
I'm trying to put myself in a frame here.
Okay, perfect. That was good.
It's imperfect yet, no? But I'm trying.
It's good enough. We'll take it.
All right. Yeah.
It's beautiful to see you again. And everyone here was introducing themselves. So we're gonna turn it over to you so you can just tell the audience who you are.
Okay. Well, as you know, my name is Senghor. I have been on this podcast once reading my poems with hostess Maxwanette. And I have 3 books of poetry, and I continue to write daily. I am attached, well, I go on the allpoetry.com site most of the time, and there's where I write the most. Poems of varied types, and I have been looking for the past week or every day at Maya Angelou's Phenomenal Woman, which we are going to be discussing today. And I do look forward to the discussion with the rest of panelists.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's good to see you again. It's wonderful to have you. Okay, we're going to get right into it. Cezanne,
Sorry.
are you ready,
Sorry,
my dear?
I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to move
Find a
somewhere where
spot.
I'm not going to be disturbed. Yeah.
Okay, and
Okay.
for the, yeah, okay, take your
No,
time.
too dark, too dark. Sorry about this.
For those who are now joining us, Cezanne is coming in from the UK and she's in the park giving us this lovely background and trying to find a good spot so
Yeah,
that she
just have to
can,
go back.
a phenomenal spot.
Okay. A phenomenal spot. I had
For
to
a
come back
phenomenal
here because
woman. There you go.
there wasn't.
Okay, we got a little pause going on. She'll be right back, I'm sure. Here
All
we
right,
are.
I'm ready.
Take it away, Cezanne. We have a little glitch going on. There you go.
Okay. Are you okay? Can you see me?
Yeah,
We
you're
can hear
ready.
you.
Working?
Go ahead,
Yes? Okay.
Suzanne.
Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model's size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arm, the span of my hip, the stride of my step, the curl of my lip. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. I walk into a room just as cool as you please. And to a man, the fellows stand or fall to their knees. They swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's in the fire of my eye, the flash of my teeth, the swing of my waist, the joy in my feet. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they just can't touch my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say it's in the arch of my back, the sun in my smile, the ride of my breast, the grace of my style. I'm a woman, phenomenal, phenomenal woman. That's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say it's in the click of my heels, the band of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need for my care, because I'm a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And this was done, I believe, in 1978.
That's right. Yeah.
Maya Angelou wrote this piece. Thanks again for that, Cezanne. Phenomenal woman. Where do we start, right? I am also a Maya Angelou fan. After my mom, Louise Bennett, Claude McKay, Maya, okay? And I'm dedicated to her. Still I Rise, also my favorite as well. So I even have a cup with Still I Rise sitting on my desk. So, you know, I love Maya. This piece, Phenomenal Woman, in my opinion, it speaks for itself in the title alone. Especially, it's been written so long ago, and yet here we are today, and it's still timeless. Whereas I think every woman should read this poem, every woman, because as women, we get so beaten down and so pulled and distracted and distorted and warped and misrepresented. This piece is very inspiring and it's very encouraging, and it shows you to appreciate the woman within you. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Exactly.
Cezanne, since you read it, I'm going to let you go ahead and say what you would like to say about critiquing, and then I'm going to go to the gentlemen, the kings here, and we're going to sort around, and then Dr. Anita, and then we'll come back around again to my co-host. Beautiful.
Yes. This poem, Phenomenal Woman, as you said, I think every woman should read it and connect with it, because
We're having a little audio issue.
it helps with your self-worth, you know, if you're struggling in life, or if you're, can you hear me okay? So I was saying that this is a poem, this is the type of poem that if any woman is feeling like low self-worth, not feeling confident in herself, this poem, just hearing it or reading it, will boost your self-esteem. You know, it'll make you remember who you are as a woman. All women are phenomenal, you know, and not just because of, you know, the swagger that we have, you know, but it's just one of those poems that makes you feel good about yourself as a woman. So
True.
it's one of these poems that this one, and as I said, Still I Rise, I'm going to memorize them and perform them, because my Angelou is one of my sheroes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to be able to pay tribute to her in that way would just be awesome. So yes. And like this whole thing of society feeling like you have to look a certain way to feel good about yourself. And then Maya Angelou coming along and saying, well, I don't look like a model. I don't, you know, have that type of figure, but I'm still highly confident in myself, and I know who I am as a woman. So this poem is just a great poem for women in general, you know.
Beautiful. It's only fair to let all the women go first, since it is Phenomenal Woman in it. Dr. Anita.
Thank you both. I love this.
Can I add something to that?
Sure,
sorry, I didn't mean to.
No,
I was just going to say, you know, like there's this thing where some women, they may not have those model looks or what society says, but they still have this magnetic presence, this thing about them that attracts people to them. It could be men, it could even be women, but they have this magnetic presence, you know, and this is, I feel, what Maya Angelou was talking about, this magnetism in who she is as a woman, not necessarily to do with her looks, but her aura, her presence, you know. So I feel like I'm that way as well. I feel like, you know, I can be quite magnetic, and it's not necessarily because of my looks, but just this presence, my inner being that shines outward, you know. So yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted to add.
Beautiful, beautiful. Dr. Anita, thank you, Cezanne.
Yeah, thank you. You know, this one, Still I Rise, but I gotta say, I know why the cage bird sings. That's my one there. That's my one. This one here, Phenomenal Woman, I performed this years ago in the 80s, and I enjoyed it when I did it.
Yes.
And I consider this a ballad. One, I consider it a beautiful ballad. I see that it is symbolic in nature as well as metaphoric. When she says, it's in the fire of my eyes, you know, that's metaphor. And the flash of my teeth. You know, she's very powerful. I love that part where she says, men themselves have wondered what they see in me, because it's all energy. And it's a wonderful piece for a man as well, because it's like she's saying men have wondered what they see in me. They wonder because they're seeing beyond that physical thing. Because she's expressing the magic, like Cezanne had said, she's expressing the magic of who she is by the sway of her hips and the reach of her arms. And it's not model perfect. It's not model perfect. So what they're seeing is her energy. They're seeing that energy that's within her. So that's why I say that part is just so, it's so symbolic of representing that it isn't what's on the outside, it's all about what's on the inside, and what gravitates is going to be from what that on that outside. And that confidence is that she exudes. And again, that message to men to say, hey, sometimes when you don't know why, you don't know what or why you're so I'm alluring to you. Take a look, take a little bit deeper. Take a little bit deeper. Go beyond looking at my breast. Go beyond looking at my legs. Go beyond looking at my little derriere. Go a little bit deeper, and then you're gonna find out why I'm so alluring to you. Because it ain't even nothing about the physical. I love Phenomenal Woman.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Woo! Let's get some king's perspectives here. I'm going to start with Brother Senghor. Unmute your mic for me, my dear, and weigh in. Oh, excuse me. I was surprised by the sudden rainstorm out here. I wasn't expecting it. Please excuse my background noise. Go ahead.
That's all right. Yeah, I was hoping to hear another king first, that I came in last. I was hoping to that would be followed. But anyway, I'm going to throw some spokes in the wheel here. I think it's this particular poem is a good one. I understand from the Queens about the mystery and about the seeing beyond and so on. But the poem does not describe that mystery. It does not take me, let me say, it doesn't take me beyond. Even in the attempt to do so, the physicality is used in the poem. It is suggested, I think, in the poem that we should see beyond. But the poem itself does not take me there. Fire in my eyes, okay, right. So, I mean, I could, kind of go along with that. Flash of my teeth, I could, go along with that. The arch in my back, and, I could go along with that. But to me, it still does not speak to the essence then, that mystery then, when I look at the word use, there is how to say, there is good I don't know, sometimes I think rhyme kind of forces us in a way away from what we might really want to say if we didn't have to rhyme then. I don't know if Maya felt that she had to rhyme, but she did rhyme in a kind of a way. The rhyme wasn't like structured, like, line per line or line in between or that kind of thing, but there was rhyme. And I'm wondering if that is a kind of a, how to say, it didn't, for me, it didn't, it took away then from really getting into the mystery of being phenomenal. As I want to interpret phenomenal as being extraordinary and so on. Yeah, okay. So what are the men falling at their knees for? Just for seeing you, seeing beyond you, and what is beyond? I don't know. In the poem, that is, I don't know what is beyond. But I do, having said all of that, which is, we are critiquing, I understand, I'm not criticizing Maya nor her poetry, because she is who she was, and the poem is what it is. So, that is to be given credit. But what I am, in terms of positiveness, yes, I could see where women, could use the poem to how would we say, to big up themselves and, to feel good about themselves. And I think, Maxwanette, you were saying that men too could use it in a way to see women in a sort of a different light. I don't know if that is what you were actually saying, but I'm interpreting what you said in that way. Men could actually see it see women in a more positive light. I don't have the poem in front of me, but if someone could just tell me the last lines, there was something I wanted to say about those last few lines or the last stanza then.
Last stanza?
Yes. If I could just briefly say, it was Cezanne that mentioned about men, it was not I, being able to look at it differently. And not to defend, because we are critiquing, I think, and not to take away from Cezanne's recital, I think, Brother Senghor, it would be good if you YouTube Maya Angelou performing and reciting this piece. There is a certain alluring type of mystique presentation that she gives on stage that we don't see. And it will, the performance also affects the words. So this is Maya. No one can do Maya. It's not gonna happen. But I not to change your perspective in any way, but I think you should really YouTube her and watch and listen at the same time. Cezanne, did you want to repeat the last stanza? Unmute your mic for me, dear.
I think there was a king I saw, like he has the whole poem in front of him. I don't know his name.
I'm not sure. I mean, I have it in front of me, but because she read it, I would rather she just, go right ahead and recite it again.
Sure, understood.
Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't jump or shout about, I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heel, the band of my hair, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need for my care, because I'm a woman, phenomenal
Right.
woman. That's me. I think she's also inviting men to dig deeper rather than looking at the surface.
Okay, what I wanted to say about that last stanza. Thank you, Cezanne. What I wanted to say about that last stanza is that it begins, here to me then, for maybe the first time, I'm now getting into something there in the beginning of that last stanza. And then it has to go back, unfortunately, to the physical, the hair and stuff and stuff. So in that little section there at the beginning is a glimpse of the mystery to me. Is a glimpse of the of what is phenomenal in my estimation.
You have got to see the video. You have to. You really do.
It's kind of sorry. That's a kind of diamond, to me then, as a diamond in the poem for me.
Right. You have to see it. You're doing yourself an injustice. Watch it, please, because she's on stage and you gotta see it.
No, I understand that. I understand that, but I have seen Maya on YouTube. I have appreciated it. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the poem. All I'm saying is that as a poet myself, then it does where someone may want to say that it speaks to the mystery and beyond and so on and so forth. I personally do not see that in the writing. I don't have to see Maya perform in order to understand the poem. It's the poem I'm dealing with. I'm not dealing with Maya.
As a man, does it not?
Maya is Maya, and if I'm dealing with what is I think we are critiquing the poem and not Maya, and it's what I see as a poet in the poem, And
it's good to have a different sense of a different opinion. It's very good. Yeah. Everybody does not have to love Maya's piece or love her poem. So we respect your critique. Definitely.
Yeah, no, but when you say it like that, Maxwanette, you kind of make it sound as though I don't love the poem, I don't like the poem. I do.
I don't make it. Don't feel like that. You know, because you stated that the only piece that appealed to you was in the last stanza. So I didn't say it.
No. You see, that is where we're going to differ again. I didn't say that. I am
What did you say?
As a poet, I am saying, all right, if I could put it in a brief way then, all right, the phenomenality of it is not borne out in sufficiently enough then for me to see the mystery of a woman, right? That's what I'm saying, that in that last stanza there at the beginning there, I can't remember the words right now, but I know the feeling. It begins to emerge.
Okay.
I am also saying that perhaps because of I better not go there, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, we want to get everybody else to get their
opinion. Yeah. That's why I won't go there.
But you never know. We can do it again another time. But it's quite. I like what you had to say about it. Trust me.
Yes.
I'm going to go to Brother Frank.
Yes.
If you can give us your critique.
Yeah. First of all, let me say that Maya Angelou is one of my favorite poets. From the time I read her poems years ago. As a matter of fact, I remember for my daughter's 10th birthday, I gave her a copy of Maya Angelou's book. And I don't remember the name of the book, but it was on her earlier books, and it had this poem in it. And it also had I Rise. And those are the first two poems that actually, appealed to me. But this one particularly appealed to me, and I can tell you why. I think that all men should read it, especially black men should read this poem. Although Maya Angelou did not refer specifically to black women, there's a hint of what she's saying. And I think the first line of the poem, pretty women wonder where my secret lies. Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I think that is a deliberate line that set the tone for the mystery. And I don't think the mystery is a mystery that is meant to be brought out in the poem, but it is a mystery that continues even beyond the poem. Because what Maya Angelou, to my mind, is saying is that according to society, she is not cute. And reference to a fashion model size, of course, refers to the slim fashion models with these same dresses, and so on. And she is actually breaking down that stereotype of beauty and women, attractive women, that the fashion models, and you could even extend it and say Hollywood to some extent, would have projected, so that the black woman would have suffered more from that type of projection than any other women, because obviously one of the first things that they would have projected would have been the features, the Anglo-Saxon features, with the straight pointed nose and the thin lips, and then the fair skin, right, and the long flowing hair, right. So all those things are part of the fashion model image that Maya Angelou is saying she is not built with this so-called cute fashion model image. Right. But she goes on to highlight, although she's talking about inner beauty as well, she also goes on to highlight some of the external beautiful things about women who are not fashion model sizes. That's why she referred to the span of her hips, for example, the stride of her step, and the curl of her lips. So it does talk about physical beauty as well, but it shows that physical beauty is not always or should not be seen only in terms of what society has put there as this so-called fashion model image. So she goes, that's why she's projecting that this beauty is also in the span of her hips, because obviously she's a big person. She has bigger hips and so on, and the curl of her lips, which suggests to me again the thick lips of a black woman.
Right.
And then she talked about walking into the room, and the men stand or fall down. She said, and to a man, the fellows stand or fall down on their knees. Meaning that all the men who didn't stand fell down on their knees. Right? So all the men reacted, and they swarmed around like a hive of honeybees. The image there, of course, now is that these men are caught by another aspect of physical beauty, which is not the normal physical beauty that will be projected by the Hollywood and the fashion design images. So I think that and the walk and the swing of the waist and the joy in the feet, all of these things I somehow associate with the black women that I see, the Caribbean women that I see walking the streets. There's a difference in how Caribbean women, in fact, Caribbean women walk with a rhythm.
True.
African women walk with a rhythm. Sometimes the rhythm could suggest the part of Africa or the part of the Caribbean that you're from. Women, for example, in Barbados is pretty flat. And I find that when you see Caribbean women from the mountainous islands and the Caribbean, they tend to walk different to the Barbadian women who are accustomed to walking on flat land, flat surfaces.
True.
Right?
True.
But
Wow.
there's this rhythmic sway in the hips that is unique to African women. And
wow.
so I do think, and then the suggestion of the sun smile, the sun of my smile, right? The sun. So who do we associate the sun with? Obviously, the sun is associated with African women again.
Right.
So it's the sun of the smile. So when an African woman smiles, you're seeing the sun, and it's just that brightness, that glow, and the right of my breast. Because if she's a full-bodied African woman, that means she have fairly good sized breasts, the right of her breast, and the grace of her style. And no other woman in the world moves as gracefully as African women. So I see all this coming, and as I said, Maya Angelou very, very carefully, very skillfully did not put in the poem itself the direct reference to black women. But I think the poem speaks directly to black women who feel left out because of the image that is projected of what is beauty.
Wow.
And she is saying that you got to appreciate, she's not only telling men that they got to appreciate this woman, but I think the poem also speaks to women, and more so to women, to appreciate what they have and to highlight what they have. So in other words, walk with your natural sway of your hips. Don't hide it. You know, don't try to hide the curl of your lips or the sun in your smile. Let these things come out, because that is you. And you, black woman, you are a phenomenal woman.
Sure.
Wow.
I don't know about any of the other queens on the panel, but I feel so good right now. And I just want to say, when you spoke, Brother Frank, about the curling of the lips, all of us, our lips quivered and moved. Every single one of us here, the women. I noticed it. I don't know if the men did, but I noticed it. And wow, thank you. That's whoa. What can I say about that? Wow. That's you made me actually look back at the poem.
Yeah.
And because to hear it from a male's perspective as well, with you and Brother Senghor, you made me have to look back and go, wow.
And it's interesting because about 2 weeks ago, we had a panel discussion in Barbados as part of the same Global Freedom Festival. Every last week in the month since April. We started since April because we are running this festival throughout the season of emancipation in Barbados. In Barbados, we have something called the Season of Emancipation. that runs from the 14th of April. That was the day on which General Busa rebelled on the slave plantation in Barbados. One of the most terrible rebellions that we had in Barbados during slavery. And we start the season of emancipation on the 14th of April, and it runs right down till the beginning of August, where we celebrate Emancipation Day. So the some Global Freedom Festival runs through this. And we had a discussion last 2 weeks on Black beauty.
Okay.
Our discussion was on Black beauty. So it was very interesting because we think that this came out and they talk about the images. The images, for example, in film that was projected to tell Black women and Black men, or to suggest what is beautiful and what is not beautiful. And they talk about the reason why Black people's nose are broad and why they have thick lips. And it's all to do with the fact that where you live, where you are from, your body parts have to adjust to climate and so on.
Right.
In other words, we breathe the tropics, we breathe in hot air. So we don't need the narrow nasal passage like the Caucasian would need in Ireland and in Europe, because they breathe in a cold air, and their passages are designed for the cold air, while ours are designed for the warm, hot temperatures.
Right.
So all these things came up. So I found it very interesting that this particular poem was chosen, and as I say, it's one of my favorite poems. I've read it several times, and I bought the book for my daughter when she was 10 years old with this poem, and I know that is one of her favorite as well. You know.
So wow, we thank you for that. That was a good critique, because you made me look at it differently. I tell you that. I really had to. I didn't see some of the things that you mentioned. I really didn't. Wow, Courtney, I'm getting feedback from somebody. I don't know who it is, but I'm just going to ask everyone to mute who isn't speaking at the moment, just so we don't have that feedback. Courtney, would you like to, first of all, Flavius, do we have enough time to keep going? I wanted to get Courtney's opinion on it, critique, as well as your own. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Beautiful.
Yeah, go ahead.
Courtney, please go right ahead and tell us what your opinion is on Maya's poem, Phenomenal Woman.
Yeah, okay. As you know, as everyone says, and I agree with them that Maya, is my favorite also, and I think one of the greatest poets that in our time, that we've read, because the things that she talk about, and especially with this poem, Phenomenal Woman, it speaks to womanhood, self-acceptance, being confident. And it's not, and as Frank mentioned, something very important about, what the societal standard of beauty, how she mentioned that, So like, it started like about pretty woman and talking about the standard. And surely she was really expressing directly to the Black woman, that need to be confident, and really, to me, it should be like a Black woman's liberation poem or song,
Wow.
Because this, is very, it's encouraging, and what she's showing she's showing that she's an assertive woman.
Right.
And sometimes, we realize that even as men are not all, Black men, other men, they can't really deal with a confident, assertive woman. And I think just to get back to Cassie's point about, it didn't see the mystery. I think part of the mystery that she was really talking about, because you don't see me in this light, that I am this confident, liberated woman. And many people may look at it and say, well, she was expressing feminism to a point, but I see that this is a woman showing that self-acceptance is what we need as a people, but especially for the woman. And to take the point a little further, I think what, part of it is what she's trying to express was, look, black man, if I am this way and liberated, because I am the one who's going to liberate you in the end.
Wow.
If you really look at the poem, from at a deeper sense, And I think the message is just clear, because as I said, the theme is like about a woman with self-acceptance, confident, being confident and assertive as a woman, because that is what really make her phenomenal.
Right.
And
right.
we know, from the writings too, that she was talking about herself personally, but she was relating this part of herself to other women. So look at me as an example. Because we know the struggles and the things that she has been through, those who are familiar with her story. And, she would have to look back to the time and the era that she was growing up in, when racism in America was blatant.
Yeah.
I mean, especially against, the women. Because while men were sitting quietly and accepting certain things, the women were not. And it takes me right back to the color purple, the role that Oprah played in that movie.
Right.
So, we see that the message is clear. And, I really like how she started out that, about pretty woman, the pretty woman, them don't know, what is her secret. Because while a woman with a model size and looks and shape may be, people, a man may find them attractive, she was just showing how, because of her size and how she looked, it was her inner beauty that makes her alluring, as Dr. Anita had said before.
Right.
And which is a fact. Because, if we look back into, because a song just comes to my mind right away, that the Temptation song said, beauty is only skin deep.
True.
And this is what she was really expressing, that, the societal standard of beauty, it's not really acceptable anymore. This is it's not going to be normal anymore. Right. And we see it, we know that, like in Jamaica, a woman with a big booty, nice shaped, is really more admired than a slim woman, with nothing. So,
jeez. There's something true with nothing. My gosh.
So, so she was expressing that, But part of it that I like is when this portion of the poem, what she was talking about her breast. Because we know the size, she was talking about the size of her breast. And we know that woman with that size, when they walk, their breast jerks.
True.
And what I mean, that is the most appreciated part of a woman for a man, So, she was telling them, look, I have these features and I am happy with who I am.
Wow. It's beautiful to hear women, we talk about this all the time. So it is just phenomenal to hear the different opinions from the men. I'm blown away by all of you, actually, every one of you. I'm just amazed because sometimes our men.
Can I come in here?
Please do.
Yeah, just a couple of points.
No, go right ahead.
I think we need to look at what she was trying to do is actually asking the women to be self-actualized, to reach to the top without fear, based on what you have and what you don't have or whatever. And the other point comes from Cezanne. She had used about 3-4 times in her critique a word that is very, very close to me. And that is a very, very critical thing, and it's presence. That's one of the most important thing in life with people, in sports, in just like the whole thing about walking into a room. I mean, we have seen that so many times.
Yeah.
Somebody comes in the room and everybody turns
Mm-hmm.
and everybody stop talking, you know, presence, presence. And
Right.
women who have presence, I mean, you know, and are self-actualized and are totally confident. Because we have too many people that are not confident. A lot of women, a lot of men too, are not confident.
Sure.
So this poem is something to lift you up and put you there so you know that you can be confident with what you have and what you do. So that's my small take of it among the poets.
Beautiful, beautiful, amazing. I took this poem personally because as a larger size woman, I can remember even when I was younger, a lot of the smaller size women would ask me, what the men see in you? You know, they just couldn't fathom. And I was always teased for my big lips and, you know, there's a Coca-Cola bottle shape, like we say in Jamaica, and all kinds of things. So this poem really resonated with me on a personal level. Dr. Anita, you had something you wanted to say. Please go right ahead.
You know, I was going to say this poem also represents how much of an activist she was.
True. Yeah.
It really does. And also too, I have to say when I read this and how I embrace it not only within my African heritage, but I embrace it also within my Cherokee Blackfoot heritage as well.
Of course.
I take this poem perhaps to be a reflection perhaps of women of color, not just necessarily of one particular race or creed, because there's a part of me, you know, that's learning how to embrace all of me. Right. Not just the part that's supposed to be outstanding, because all of me is outstanding. So I take this poem to say that phenomenal woman, whoever you are, whatever your race, creed, color, nationality, or what, you are phenomenal because of your presence, because of who you are. And I see as a Black woman, because I know Maya Angelou, she's a Black woman. I didn't necessarily, for me, see that it was of a certain type. I didn't get that. Because I've seen women of different not cultures, different race and everything, with thick lips and different sizes. So yeah, I didn't see it strictly for the Black woman. I didn't, for me.
Beautiful. I love it. I love all the takes that we've had on this piece. It's been great. I'm going to turn this over to you, Flavius. Again, wonderful, wonderful. I love everyone's opinion. Beautiful.
Well, what we can do from now as we're closing off, if whoever want to give us a short closing piece, and then we will go out from there.
You meant the poem, right?
Because yeah.
Put people on the spot. I don't think anybody came prepared with poetry today, except for Phenomenal Woman. Beautiful. Don't let it just be me. So everybody else got one out there. You know, I'm just looking because my book just happened to be there.
Okay, while you're checking, and let me just make this announcement. Can we have this forum and this panel back on the 15th of July and do Still I Rise?
Woo, yes. Ooh. Oh, darn, it's on a Wednesday. Ooh, I don't know if I'll be able to pop in.
You said the 15th of July?
Yes.
That's a Friday, sis.
It
Yeah, it's a
is? Oh,
Friday.
I thought he meant June. Oh,
No, July.
oh yes, beautiful. Oh, phew.
That's good for
Thank you.
me.
Good looking. Because I didn't want to miss that one. Okay. Oh man. Okay. I have a small piece called The Uniqueness of You. Your words, your presence, your very essence causes my soul to speak in a language I thought I forgot. You stimulate my cranium, overloading me in this millennium, causing my third eye to see the realness of you. A sense of care, wanting and needing near, combining of our energies into a powerful oneness, baffling the universe with our ultimate perfected union, the uniqueness of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Glad to do it. Glad to do it. Flavius, Courtney,
Who's next?
I got one.
please go right
Go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah,
Okay. This one's called Should Have Been.
Mm.
Okay. How often have you heard you should have been? It's meant as a compliment, or is it? To not be what you should have been is actually being not who you are. According to whom? Are we ever satisfied and qualify who we are, what we have, quantify what we possess? Is it less than the power to be and believe? You should have been. It's saying you're not who you're supposed to be. And in whose reality? Are we talking unconditional acceptance or reflecting on inspections of the memory we were taught to perceive unlike the original of you and me? It should have been success. It should have been a blessed rise up to your potential in an exponential capacity. Okay, if I come to think like you, who thinks I should have been, am I being true to the one and only, the she who imprints on earth the path designed by the universe? Because I've not reached the should have been, does that make me a failure or simply a has been? One who floated on missing the boat. When it's said to me, I should have been, I measure the equation of the vibration. An innocent, unknowing sentiment that lacks a true complement, and I answer. Our subconscious is a powerful compensation of. So, the next time when someone says, you should have been, share the revelation. What I should have been, I already am.
Mm.
Wow.
Love it. Love it. I felt that one. We got a
Move
thumbs
on.
up over there.
Let's move on.
Beautiful.
Okay, can I share one? Can I share one?
Please
Sure.
go right ahead.
And this one somehow it probably was inspired by Angelou, and it's called I Rise. But it's a different take than Angelou. I rise upon the backs of many to soar to greater heights, through days of weary linger and long but weary nights. I sought with eminent wonder the road less traveled, not a smooth and charted path, but one of hard rock gravel. Yet as I journey to that place within myself, I know the true measure of our being and our wealth is captured not by time, but on the backs of those upon whom we climb. I rise, oh yes, I rise, to finally reach the mountain top, where climbers scaled and fell, but climbing never stopped. I rise, yes, I rise, to meet each pending challenge and claim the victor's prize. With eagerness in my eyes, I rise, I rise.
Mm. Beautiful.
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 Wonderful. Yeah.
Yes,
Anyone
I'll
else?
just give you a short piece, and this one is called Bliss. I felt bliss, but it was not from a kiss or from a physical interaction. It was stimulation from a spiritual connection, which felt like an injection. The supernatural feeling gave me an emotional healing, removing energy sapping inhibitions along with negative assumptions. This celestial trek blew my conscious intellect like an atomic bomb dropped in the Pacific Ocean. My aura was like a prism, lighting up the solar system. This wonderful experience is etched in my memory, so I am telling the story. Spiritual awakening is really mind-boggling.
Thank
I
you.
loved it. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Courtney, let's get that book going. I'm saying it again in public.
Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Anyone else? That was
Who's
beautiful.
next? Who's next?
Anyone else? Are we good? Okay. We kind of caught people on the
Cezanne is
spot
coming.
today. Cezanne,
Okay, I'll do a short one.
go right ahead, love.
I am a dedicated writer. A dedicated writer puts their writing first. When the inspiration's flowing, they flow along with it. They yield to the spirit and write. Even when it's inconvenient, they stop what they're doing to write. They could be walking down the street when the bolt of inspiration strikes like lightning. And then they know they have to reach for their paper and pen and write. They could be shopping, cooking, cleaning, washing the dishes, showering, sleeping. But when it happens, no matter what they're doing, they know they have to stop to write. A dedicated writer writes and writes and writes and writes and writes and writes and writes. To a dedicated writer, writing is like making love. They get off by writing. To a dedicated writer, writing is like giving birth, hard, pushing. But when the beautiful baby, the end result is born, it's worth all the pain. Writing can be quick and painless too, when the inspiration's flowing. This poem was written in less than half an hour at 5 o'clock in the morning.
We're losing you, Cezanne. The connection.
Time's up. Dedicated writer also knows when to. Oh no, I think it's the wind. So the dedicated writer. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. It's probably the wind.
Yes,
I know not to
yes,
sit outside.
Yeah, it is.
Don't worry about it, yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. All writers feel it. Flavius? Brother
One
Cassie,
more to go.
did you want to, I see your mic unmuted. Did you want to recite something?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say what I heard from Cezanne there was very good. You know, I was inspired by that. I enjoyed that. And of course,
Yeah.
from Dr. Anita also. And the views expressed by the men, I certainly respect that. In terms of when it was written and for what purpose, the kind of purpose that they gave to it, I fully understand that. I probably took that for granted when I was speaking earlier on. And rather than read a poem, that's you know, I just wanted to clear that up, you know, because we have so many instances of the power of Black women, you know, and I think that Phenomenal Woman falls into that category, showing us the power of African women in particular. I was simply trying to go beyond a little bit more into the phenomenality of it, the mystery of it, which which was also kind of shown in the writing there. So just to say thank you very much for inviting me, and I hope to be back on the next one also.
Beautiful, beautiful,
Definitely.
beautiful. We look forward to having you.
Courtney, close for us, please.
Okay, just to say thank you to the panel, Maxwanette, a poetess or co-host, Cezanne Poetess, Dr. Anita Caprice, Frank Gilkes, and Cassie Senghor. Surely the Real Stuff podcast, thank you for being a part of this wonderful, amazing discussion, and looking forward for the next one. You know, today, just for our listeners and viewers, today, this critique about Ms. Angelou's poem, Phenomenal Woman, I hope we all get some kind of takeaway from it when we hear it. So thank you again. Thanking our listeners and viewers. And back to you, Flavius.
Okay, thank you all from the Real Stuff podcast as we have to close, but I see that Courtney has booked another date for a similar panel with a different poem. So until then, from the Real Stuff podcast, I'm going to ask Queen Lubafu to give us the Our Father in the Garifuna language and Tafina to take us out. Thank you very much.
You lead us to Fula. You belong far away away. Ajugwala lebo buseru. Lida mua, lida sungfula. Lida mua, lida sungfula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me do what set me if it could flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out of sight. Me I fi take away myself. I fi take away myself. I have to utilize